take roll call, Tony?
Push the button, there it is. Okay, we're there now. Monica Wells. Yeah, I know you're here. Eva. Here. Abby.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Michael Zaslow.
Here.
Joyce Reese.
Yes.
Bobby Levin.
Here.
John Hess.
Here.
John Craig.
Here.
David Furness.
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone. Okay.
What if there were more than one person?
Ruth.
Here.
Maureen. Here. Joanne.
I'm here.
David Boaz.
Here.
Jerry.
No.
Bruce.
Yes.
Stuart.
Here.
Patricia.
Here.
Fausto.
Here.
And no Donald. Okay. We have 2 guests in the room.
Okay. Please suspend the video. Jim? All right, we're going to continue with the operations meeting of July 29th, 2025. I'm going to ask Monica to do her, minutes first. I need a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Made by Joyce, seconded by John Gregg. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No corrections to the minutes will be accepted as presented. Okay, Monica, it's all yours.
Thank you, Fausto. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're looking at the first report of your statement of operations for WPRF for the 7 months ended May 31st. For the month of May, our total revenue was $500,000. Total expenses for the month, $454,000, so we have a profit of $46,000. Year to date, our total revenue is $3.8 million. We've spent $3.8 million, so we have a profit of $9,573. That is a positive variance from what we had budgeted for these first 7 months. We had budgeted a loss of $235,000, so we have a positive variance of $245,000. If you look down the right-hand side of your page for the variances, you will see that the majority of the expenses year to date are under budget. There's only a few that are slightly over budget. So far we're doing great this year. Your social activity summary is at the bottom. For the month of May, our theater revenue was $4,796. For your theater dances and movies, we spent $8,114, so we have a loss of $3,318. Year to date, your income for your theater and dances is $235,000. We spent $278,000, so we have a loss of $43,000. Our actual budgeted loss for your theater, dances, and movies was $81,000, so we have a positive variance of $38,000. Any questions?
Can you turn off your mic or turn your mic on?
It's on.
Thank you.
Sorry, I guess I didn't have it close enough. Sorry.
Here it is.
Okay, the next report is your cash balances. As of the 31st of May, our total operating funds, $702,000. Our reserve funds include our windstorm deductible reserves, which is $1.2 million, and our contingency and infrastructure reserves, $504,000. So our total reserve funds are $1,714,000. Our total available cash, $2,416,000. Questions there? Okay. The next report is your social activities P&L, and this is for the month of June. During the month, we had 642 tickets sold for your theater performances. Our gross sales were $4,410. When we subtract the audience view cost and the sales tax, our net sales were $3,703. We spent $3,550 for the performers, so we have a profit of $153. For your Friday night dances, 457 people attended your dances. We spent $1,450 for the 4 dances. And for your movies, 692 people attended your movies. You'll see a little bit of a difference in the movie cost this month, as Abby reported to you earlier.
No, I'm going to.
Oh, you didn't report?
I didn't report
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. I'll let Abby explain why typically for each title for a movie showing, we have the exact same cost for every movie, but we have an entirely new situation with our movies, which I apologize. I thought Abby had come to this committee, so she can explain to you why. Because this is the first month, June is the first P&L that this new arrangement for movies is taking place. You wanna
Oh,
go
you can
ahead?
do it now?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No problem. Something happened with your last meeting and I wasn't notified of a change or something like that, so that's why I didn't report this. We, on May 20th, 25th, we were notified, I think it was Memorial Day, that the company that has been sending us movies since I've been employed here, so I think it's over 50 years, closed his business within 1 week, literally. And he had the rights on a handshake from his roommate in college with a company called Swank, who is the largest distributor of non-theatrical movies in any place in the country. And we were not able to obtain movies any other way because he had the Condo and Country Club non-theatrical market sewed up. Anyway, he closed his doors and we were like, okay, now what do we do? So we have gone directly to this company, Swank, and we have negotiated the best deals possible. However, everything has now changed, where we used to pay $100 per showing. That included picking the movie, that included the actual DVD, and that included the delivery service, and that included the licensing fee. So we had to have a minimum of 3 showings and a maximum of 5 at the time. We were not able to make that deal, however, we came pretty close. We have to pay $150 per movie, per title, excuse me. We can show that from any amount of time in a 7-day period, as much as we want. We have to purchase the DVD, which on the average from Amazon, it's about $30. I tried to negotiate purchasing it for West Palm, for example, and splitting the costs between the 3 villages. That wasn't going to happen. To have saved, $10, so every video would have been $10 rather than $30, but that wasn't going to happen. We have had to hire a programmer. He's a per diem guy. He was charging $125. We were able to get him to $75. So on the average, we're paying $150 to Swank per title. We're paying $30 per video DVD, and we're paying $75 to the programmer. We have upped the budget for next year. We think we'll be in compliance with this year's budget, but we have no alternative. On the positive note, this programmer who does colleges, universities, for lack of knowing anywhere else that some of you may know, he does North Shore Towers. Does anybody here know North Shore Towers? I figured you would. It's in Long Island, right? What?
Queens.
Is it Queens? Okay. So he programs for North Shore Towers. He has a lot more contacts outside of Swank, so we are hoping that the opportunities for some better movies, because I know I've come in here 100 times and pitched to you and said, movies are made for 18 to 35-year-olds, because those are the ones that are willing to pay $15 a ticket and buy box office concessions and beer, and that's who they're catering to. So he has some indie film companies where we're going to have to apply for licenses. It's a tremendous amount more work for us. Well, I shouldn't say for us, for my staff, the logistics of it, and for Monica and the billing. But we're going to get through it and we'll get a rhythm down. But just if you see some additional funds or reported differently, you'll now understand why. Any questions?
What is the program?
Basically, he reviews all movies, he knows all the movie distribution companies, the film distribution companies, the indie companies that I would never know. You know, it's not like MGM or,
All right.
so
Thank you.
he has his pulse on it. And Movie Film Service did that for us too.
And doesn't he assist in obtaining license?
He does the licensing, which is the hardest part,
Yeah,
yes.
just curious.
He acquires the license. I had a recommendation from somebody that said that I could get a license for $3,000 for the year. I'm like, really? I'll do anything. So I did everything humanly possible to do it, but they looked at our seating chart and that was the end of it. We are considered a legit movie house. I don't agree with it, but, you know, they weren't gonna hear differently, so we tried. Yes.
Is there any way that you could schedule the movies in one given 2 days? Like the same movie, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Monday evening, and then the following week, go back to
It
Sunday.
depends, every month it has to change differently because of the way it works, the way it's programmed. Why is that?
We have a lot of confusion of residents coming in thinking that the same movie is going to be shown Sunday afternoon, Sunday.
All they have to do is read the happenings.
Yeah, that's all good, but do they?
We like to keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
I don't think that it will work that way, but I will put my best foot forward and look at it. How's
It
that?
just makes it a little simpler that way, I think, you know, especially when we are scheduling the few ushers that we have.
Well, maybe now that we have to actually buy the DVDs and we're not sharing them with the other Century Villages like we did in the past,
Yeah.
it may play out better, and I will certainly make that recommendation to see if it can happen.
Because, you know, when we.
If you all agree to it.
When we schedule our ushers, that the few that we have that actually want to usher the movies, we have to be careful we don't do it this day because they're going to see it that day.
They don't want to see the same thing twice.
And most of the, no, we're not really. And then the residents or whomever coming in to see the movie, they think, oh, well, I thought I was going to see this tonight. And
So you want to see this, the
upset.
same movie on Sundays,
Sunday
and Monday.
night, and then Monday night, and then the following week,
a different movie.
Sunday.
We will put our best foot forward, I can't promise you though.
Probably work out.
Maybe this question is for Monica, or maybe you can answer it. On the profit and loss, the 4 dates for the 4 performers, so the profit was only $153 for those 4 shows?
That's
Does that
a
cover
huge
costs?
We West Palm Beach in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
We never profit in the
We lose
summer.
money in the summer.
That's big money for us.
That's huge.
We lose money, don't
And
we,
then
in
we
the
gotta
summer?
clean the theater, we gotta get everything ready, so.
Well,
really,
the old, basically, you know, your attendance ranges on the average from 85 to 300. You know, it depends on what the artist is. And short of canceling summer shows, of which if you take on an average, we have about 33 weeks of summer shows on Saturday nights. We barely spend $35,000. I think this community would be in an uproar, I think, if they didn't have something to do on Saturday nights. And in the end, our goal is to look at the entire fiscal year, and we always put in a $50,000, $60,000 loss so far, and then Fausto, I believe it was 2 years ago, suggested we raise the ticket prices. Everybody agreed to it. We haven't had any rebuttal from residents that we're aware of that the tickets are too expensive. The goal is to have them come into the theater, have the best time ever, even if it's in the summertime when there's only 85 people for a comedian, and let me tell you, he's working really hard for 85 people. It's not easy. And provide a year-round, well-diversified program of entertainment, and those that come, and whatever losses, I believe, are divided amongst the unit owners. Is that correct?
John, we've gone from $120,000 loss a year down to about 40. So we've made some positive changes, yes.
You know, that's one of the reasons, John, that we implemented this recent program to invite outsiders
Yeah, I
from
know,
Golden
aware of that,
Lakes
yeah.
and, what's the other place?
Cypress Lake, Golden Lake.
Right, exactly, to try to encourage more attendance.
And we've had sold tickets to people from Golden Lakes and Cypress Lakes, because
I think
they come in all dressed up on a Saturday night,
Yeah.
and they want to know where they're
I mean,
sitting.
short of not having shows, I don't,
Do we know how many are coming from the outside?
Yes.
There's a footnote on
there.
this P&L at the bottom, John A. June events included 56 tickets sold for Cypress Creek and 16 for Golden Lake. So total outside sales were 72 tickets at $9 a ticket.
I will tell you that Kings Point and Delray, if they didn't open to outsiders publicly and advertise, they wouldn't even have a theater. So, you know, outsiders are happy to come in here, and I think Kamisha is doing a great job going to some of the communities, and she has this, we have a system now down for how they get through the gate and so forth and so on. So I think more communities around will hopefully in the season contact us, or she'll contact
Do we
them.
have somebody going to these other communities?
Kamisha is, anybody that has a lead, Kamisha will follow up with. You know, we want to see this successful for everybody, not only just so I have a job and that you have a theater and you have shows that you enjoy, but I want to see it successful for the performers. The other night when there was a comedian here for 85 people, I was dying.
Yeah, we
You
were-
know,
we
I
were
felt
not-
bad, but he did a great job. You know, he put his,
He did, but
know?
yeah, there's like,
and Maureen, you can attest this better than me, but we have had an incredible response to the summer shows this year.
yes, more so than last year.
Well, you know, every year we just have to, it's not easy to find a show for $1,000, you know.
Have you seen an increase with the performers, you know, what they're asking for? Is it-
Oh my God, yes, yeah. The advantage that you have is that when I give a date, I give 3 dates for each Century Village. So if I were just saying, would you like to work West Palm Beach, when normally I'm paying $1,000, they'd probably tell me $1,500 or $1,750. But no other buyer really in the country, if you think about it, no performing arts center, except if it's a Broadway Across America show, which is major Broadway, they're offering a performer 1 performance. I'm able to offer 3 for every performance that we do, because of the relationship with all the Century Villages.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Since we're now going to own the DVDs,
Yes,
what is going to happen to those? You going to
Well,
put them in the library?
I had suggested to Eva that we store them up and we put them in the library and people can take them, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
I know there was a couple of old movies being shown, like this past week and last month, I believe. Older movies.
That was at the request of the committee asking me for a classic movie every month.
It was
Yes, and
excellent.
that's been positive.
Yeah.
And we will continue to do so.
Les, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the $2 million that you have cash. How is that invested? And what is the proceeds from the investment?
Back to page
Still
1.
on this discussion?
Okay, it's back to the cash balances. You can see the name of the institutions that the money is invested in. And the earnings vary, and they go straight to interest income on your P&L. In fact, if you look at your first statement of operations, your last income line is interest income. For the month of May, we earned $4,583. Year-to-date, we've earned $28,925. And I had budgeted $9,500, so we've got a positive variance of $19,425.
What's your average interest rate on the investments?
Well, I will tell you, just this past week, I've taken $300,000 out of one of these reserve accounts and put them in 3-month CDs, and you're going to be earning 4.255% interest on both of those CDs. So I do expect those rates to start to come down, unfortunately, but we've been doing very, very good this past year. I have a lot of money invested with government-backed securities, with the J.P. Morgan U.S. Government Fund, and also with the Goldman Government Fund. And that's where I've moved some of the money out because those accounts are not FDIC insured, although they're government-backed securities. They're not FDIC insured, and that makes me a little nervous. So that's why I've moved $300,000 out of this one Goldman Government Fund into these two different CDs, the different financial institutions, so that they are covered by FDIC.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions on the movies?
Let's move on.
Okay, thank you, I'm leaving.
We did have one freebie on the movies. The very first movie of June, Sight, was the tail end of Movie Film Services, and they decided not to charge us since.
No, I refuse to pay for lack of notice.
Yeah,
Have
okay.
a good day, everybody, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Abby. Thank you, Abby.
Water was just delivered. If anybody wanted water, it's now on the table.
Okay, your next report is revenue collected from guests. This is also through June. Resident box office sales year-to-date through June 30th, $121,155. Guest sales at your box office year-to-date, $62,642. So our total box office sales this year of $183,797. Those dollars translate into numbers of tickets sold. 10,591 tickets sold to residents, 4,378 tickets sold to guests. Total tickets sold 14,969. Included in those ticket prices is $3 per guest per ticket, which amounts to $13,134 this year. We also have collected money selling guest passes in the ID office, totaling $22,997, and guest passes sold in the staff office, additional $9,954. So our total revenue generated from guests this year, $46,085. Any questions? Okay. My final report is also through June, and this is your Estoppel results. Year-to-date, there have been 264 units sold in this community. For the same period in the prior year, there were 357 units sold, so it's a decrease of 93 units, or 26% decrease. Year-to-date, we've collected $56,425. In the prior year, we collected $76,160, so it's a decrease of just shy of $20,000. I did hear on the news this past week that they're saying that home sales prices, resale prices are the lowest they've been in several years at this point.
And we're gonna go lower.
Yeah, and we all know the condo market is not in the best place in the state of Florida to begin with already.
Yes, John?
Our market in Century Village is very low right now as far as condos for sale, from what I understand from the realtor.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say, John?
Availability of condos for sale.
Oh, not a lot of inventory out there.
Not a lot of inventory.
Mhm.
And in fact, there's only 100, 200, 199 1-1s for sale in all of Century Village, West Palm Beach.
Yeah,
And but there's going to be a glut on the market for the high rises because their amenities are going to go up big time. So
all right.
you know, but
Well, we all know what that's all about.
We also have a lot of renters.
Too many.
Well, the people that are buying, a lot of the buyers out there are investors anymore,
right.
which is never good news typically, you know, for our community. We'd rather have owners if we could, but, you know, that's not reality. Yes, John?
As we said before, you know, the village has changed. You know, it changes all the time. But now it's between 55 and 65 is the going group. You know, and they're not involved in the clubhouse or anything else. You know, they go to work, they come home, They watch TV, drink beer on Saturday night, maybe go to a movie or to a dance or something, you know? Or go out of the village and do their thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they don't support
No.
WPRF.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
know,
all in cycles anyway.
you know, that happens in all the communities, you
Yeah.
know. I think in all three of the Century Village communities right now, we probably have a larger working class group of people, residents, than we've had in a really long time.
Yeah.
All three communities, right? Especially in Pembroke Pines, it's almost not even like a retirement community anymore.
Yeah. Like I lived here 23 years, you know, the first 4 or 5 years I lived here, it was like, you know,
Older people.
I never hung out at the clubhouse or anything, but
Mhm.
I did. I did.
anyway.
All right, any other questions or comments? I'll wrap up real quick. I just wanted to mention for the benefit of those of you that were not able to join us last week for our insurance presentation. For the first time in a number of years, we did have good news this year. Our total insurance program premiums that begins August 1st is, we're going to be realizing a decrease in premium of just shy of $44,000. And that's all the while having increased values for our properties that we insure, and some improvements on our property insurance. The minimum windstorm deductible went from $500,000 in the policy that's expiring to half that at $250,000. So there's some good news all around. If you recall, last year we transitioned to a new type of a general liability policy that made me very nervous, but we had no choice because Philadelphia had dropped us as a carrier. They dropped any involvement for all Century Villages. So as of last August 1st, we were on a general liability program where we were self-insured for every claim that we have in the community to the tune of $100,000. And the program works a little differently than a traditional insurance general liability program. We contracted with what is called a third-party administrator, that we report all of our incidents to rather than the actual carrier themselves. And this third-party administrator works to try to resolve any of those incidents that actually we receive an attorney's letter on, or threat of a lawsuit, or any type of legal action. And I hate to even say this, but here we are getting ready in a couple of days for this policy to expire, and we've had over 50-something incidences reported to this third-party administrator between the 3 Century Villages. And to date, not a single one of those incidences has been reported to the carrier. So it looks like this year, as of right now, we have 0 claims. We did have a couple of old claims. We had, unfortunately, one that settled in this community. What was it, $180,000, Eva?
$250 was.
Oh, yours was $250?
$250 for the fall in the gym.
Yeah. So, you know, that's on the prior carrier, but unfortunately, because that claim did settle, it's part of our claims history. But this year, we're a big goose egg so far. So it's worked out very well, and the general liability program going forward for the new policy year is on the same platform. So, yes, John?
The claims that we've had here, how long do they stay on? 5 years? Like
Probably 7 years, which is statute of limitations.
And those unopened claims, how long do they have to open them? The 55 that you mentioned.
Actually, I don't know exactly how long it is they have to open them, but sometimes we won't get a claim for a year or 2 after the incident happens. But this third-party administrator has been doing a very good job of managing to, as they say, close these incidences as they come along. They, that's what they do for a living. They're experts at it, so they've done a very good job, and we've been happy with them. Any other questions for me?
I just want to make a statement. Philadelphia did not drop Century Village because we were bad. They stopped writing any building that was over 30 years old. It was an across the board. Anything that was over 30 years old, they stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause
Some
I
people
don't
might,
think
when you
they do.
said they dropped us, wanted to
Right.
clarify that.
Right, yeah. Well, we don't have the greatest claims history, but yeah, that's not the reason they dropped us. No, you're right. They made a strategic decision to move on from an awful lot of property in Florida. And it wasn't just our program, it was condo associations and everything. So older communities, absolutely. To mention your loss ratio, in this community, our 5-year loss ratio is 74%, and our 12-year loss ratio is 66%. So that's not a really good ratio to have, but anyway, this year it's 0 right now, so that's a good thing. So it's pulled, the ratio was a lot worse until we factored in this prior year, so it's all good. It's improving. That's it for me.
All right,
Thank you.
Very good.
thank you. I guess the new business was already discussed, right? That's what Abby wanted to discuss?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to proceed to the 25-26 budget.
Before we get into that, I just want to mention something real quick. We had something that happened in the party room that required police coming in to remove somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about the type of music played, but I think a large part of the problem are the number of requests that people are making. So I just wanted to put everybody on alert, because I'm sure you're going to get complaints at YouGo that I'm going to suspend requests for a while. Well, it's ridiculous. They're not turning in 1 or 2, they're turning in pages. And it's not, it's both sides. So I'm going to be suspending requests for a while and see where we go with that. So, just giving you a heads up.
Okay, the budget, 25-26 budget. Does everybody have a schedule? It's got a little bit of color on it. We didn't want to make the color too dark because it's been really hard to read, but this is pretty light. But at the last committee, I think the committee members that were here felt a little bit overwhelmed with the way the information was presented, and we apologize for that. So we tried to present this a little bit more organized and easier to follow and understand. And it was recommended that we separate the items that we were discussing last week in 4 different categories. So the first one is something that is not optional, it's a must. These are items that we must include in the upcoming budget that will be effective November 1st. The second category is items that we want to reserve money for, and Dan has laid these various projects out over a number of years, so we could start to reserve a little bit of money and build as we have over the years, and have the money available when we need to do some of these projects. The third category is something that we definitely should wait on. We're not considering it. We don't think it's necessary to include this in this year, but we want to make you, the committee, aware.
Monica,
Yes,
you're
sir.
going to have to get closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So the third category is items that can wait. Okay. The last category is let's do this. It's not a must, but it's something that we would like for the committee to consider doing in this upcoming budget year. We've laid out all the projects and color-coded them by the must, reserves, can wait, and let's. So the bottom line is all of these projects that are listed, the total cost of everything is $1.2 million. The total amount of projects that we have classified in these various different categories for this upcoming budget year is $672,000, which is a bit more than what we had the other day because we've had more prices because we were missing quite a few prices when we met last week. So Dan, if you, Asia, want to take it from there?
Yeah, so as you can see in this chart here, what we did is try to break things that big projects, and I'll start from the top here, new carpeting, okay? It wasn't on your first one, but I tried to put, I tried to think of everything that we could, that was a big expense, okay, and put it on here, and then spread that out. Now again, if we decide to push the carpet one more year or the other, okay, you can do that. We just spread it for another year. But I just want to bring it up there because we know we need to do it. Some areas of the carpet in the clubhouse is wearing down, especially on the steps that we're talking about. But if we spread it across here, as you can see, like next following budget year, whatever we decide to bring to you would be either smaller projects, okay, but these are the bigger projects, okay. Air conditioning, we always said we had 7 units. We did 2 this past year. We got 5 units left. After we finished these 5 units, yes, there was total of the project, there was 7 units that were never done originally on this project, okay? That was just ongoing, okay? These units are probably close to 30-something years old, if I'm not mistaken, because when we started the project, these were already, no, they're not 30, they're probably about 15 to 20 years old. Because when we first started the project, these particular things were under 10 years, okay? And that was when we first started this thing. So if you look at where we're at now, when we finished the project, okay, so we added another 5-7 years to these things. So we're replacing them, and if you look at it, we spread it through there a little bit. By the time you finish these, okay, we're going to be coming up where the other ones will be 10 to 12 years old, okay? So what you try to do with air conditioning is you try to continue to keep replacing them on a schedule events, that way that you get the most efficient air conditioning as we go along. And without a big expense, you spread it along, okay, down a couple of years. So we don't tell you that we need $100,000 that year. You just spread it, okay, and it comes up. And again, all these line items that I'm talking about, if you decide not to, we push it to the next following year. But I prefer to do the must, of course, that we're saying here because we want to stay on schedule with the pools. So I'll go line by line. Irrigation repairs is $60,000. We put in 20,000. We spread it and that the irrigation we included for the repairs. Okay, we spread it out through the 3 years. The guest pool also, it's not a priority, but again, we spread that also in a 4-year period. Okay, so that we can get to that point, and it's not necessary, but it's necessary for code-wise. We meet all the requirements, but that's the only pool that doesn't have the 4-foot barrier. The indoor pool exhaust fan, we moved that into 26, 27. Okay, I don't think it's necessary because I know you're trying to save whatever. I'm trying to take some things off of it. The resident pool paver sandblast, I think that's something that's important. We have not sealed and sanded those things since they were put down. And they have to be at least how many years now? 6 or 7 years that we have not done any sealing. And you can see what we had last time, they fell apart on us. So we want to get this sandblast, to get that sealant that was in there and turned white, and then reseal these things.
How did they do that?
Huh?
I thought you did that a couple of years. Sealing. Yeah, sealing it. Didn't you do that?
We did not the outdoor pool, but we did the sandblasting at the Club Health pool, or the Hastings pool. And what happens with the sealer, it turned it white. To get it off of there, you have to sandblast it, okay? and we use a different product now when we put the sealer down. The Kent ADA Unisec, that's the big one, guys. We got all the prices in. That was $300,000 with the 10% on top of that. Engineering for the ADA, okay. The restrooms, we spread that out, okay. 65, but that also includes the bathrooms on the outside also. So we kept on the 65 there for a couple of years because we still have engineering, so we could get prices for the next following year for the next pool, okay? So those are the pools that we have left. Tennis court resurfacing. What we did here is, we had the price for the 4, but really the other 2 need to be actually done also. They have not been touched. So we spread that over, okay, a 3-year period. And again, if you wanted to do this the next following year and we have the money, we just put it in there, okay, but we saved for 1 year, you could just wait the other. And again, anytime you wanted to do it, you just increase it and just get it done. But I'm trying to spread it for you. The Johnson Control is a must. We're doing that every year. We're spread it across, okay? That is the controls for the 7 units that have not been done. And we go back to the AC air handlers like I was talking before. There's a total of 75,000 left. I'm doing a couple a year, okay? The first year we're doing 2, and then we do 1 to finish it off in 3 years. Ladies locker room, remodeling engineering, 6,500. The theater carpet replacement, we broke it out, okay? The theater storage area build out, we need to get that done so that we could take the carpets that we talked about to repair the theater so that we could go for another 2 years, 3 years before we replace the theater.
What locker room was done the last time? Was it
The men's room.
Just the men's?
Yes. Billiard room carpet, we also broke that one out on a 3-year basis, okay? The Hastings removed the stucco, the lift and the stucco, $10,000 total, and that is basically to remove the extra lift that's there, use that as parts because we're not using it now, okay? And stucco the outside of the building and finished it the inside of the building where the billiard room was inside, just the door opening, everything, close it up, make it look like it wasn't even there, okay? But it's just useless, nobody uses it, and we had to spend a lot of money trying to try to get the parts. So now we'll utilize those parts and redo the other one with the parts that we keep.
Are they using the room upstairs?
They are, but they don't use the lift to get up there. They'll use the steps to get up there.
As long as we don't have to take it up and put it back in.
No, it's just it's too hot. And remember, we wanted to do that elevator, it just didn't pass. Remember, we had
I do remember.
it would have been a phenomenal thing, but unfortunately, that lift is just nobody wants to get in there.
Sweat box.
Yep.
Gym expansion engineering, okay? That is just so that we can get the engineering for it, so we get prices for next following year to do that, okay, to replace it. The men's sauna, since we did some work already and spent thousands of dollars to get it fixed up, we did get the pricing and it came out to $66,000 when we did.
No, that's the lady you did.
Oh, this is the men's.
Yeah.
Did you just say men's?
No, the ladies we did, the men's sauna we're working on to do, but remember we talked about that we did some repairs, we fixed it up inside there, we could go another year, but we also broke it up and we found out the actual cost with the electrical and everything was $66,000.
Do you have a lot of people using this one? Men's more than women's. Are there women using this one? I've been here a number of times. I've yet to see anybody go in, not that I'm there day and night. That's why I'm asking that question. They do. Okay.
It was a big, we know that when we close it.
So
We get all the
more
complaints.
in season than off.
Right.
We had a woman start that fire.
I'm just gonna say, has there been any more damage of late?
No. We don't, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the person moved away, passed away. But the person that was bringing in all the twigs and the branches and the leaves and all of that, and the beer cans have just suddenly gone away. So it's been quiet, thankfully.
But did we know who she was?
No,
Never found out.
no,
They thought they were in the movies.
I don't know if they're from another country and they do things differently in their saunas there. Some residents stepped forward and asked how they could help, and I said, if you see someone doing it, we need to identify them. So get security, let them identify them. That just never panned out.
The next one is the FPL Volt Engineering, 40,000. Actually, we'll put it as a must. We cannot add anything to the building anymore, sort of like Eva wants to heat the resident pool, and we cannot do that. We're right now peaked out as much as we can on electrical usage, And anything else that we want to add to this facility, we wouldn't be able to until we get this thing redone.
Like lighting for pickleball, that's another big one.
Standing doors, automatic door, that's again a life safety thing. Insurance, we talked about, okay, 26,000. And the engineering for the parking lot, I put it in there, but we could put that as a discussion thing.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here, yes. What is that for? The engineering thing?
Well, we have spent literally thousands of dollars on engineering for the parking lot over the last decade,
To add more space?
So I brought it up, to add more spaces, but it's something we could discuss and see where we go. But I had said last time, I guess last time we met, that I would not be able to move forward doing any more overlay on the parking lot. It puts us in liability, because you're supposed to pull the permit. When you pull the permit, then you have to bring everything up to ADA. So what we did in the circle, that's where it stops. We didn't get hit with that, but again, if we go any further than that, somebody trips and falls and has an attorney, it's just, something we just don't want to get into. Unless we decide to move forward on the design of the parking lot. The other is the new gators, this 16,000, that's for one gator, it's not for, if I'm not mistaken, it's one gator. Yes, one gator. So, it's just in disrepair, and it's costing us a lot of money to keep it up. So it's, I don't know how many years old is that? 10 or 12 years old, so it's time to replace. And that's where we're at. Any questions?
I see the word engineering over and over and over and over again, and a lot of money.
Yes.
Is there one engineering firm that we are using,
We get
or is
bids.
it individual firms?
We get bids. We have utilized different firms, depending today. These engineers are so busy right now with these structure things. When it comes to structural, like I'm trying to get a bridge, on the front bridge, I got some cracks and everything just to get somebody in here. But we do have different engineers and architects that we get prices from. In this case here, we had 2 bids.
My second question is, all these projects, how many proposals do you get for each project?
We get 2 to 3 proposals but for budget aspects, because it'll change. We might not do this for another 6 to 8 months if we put it out for bid again. But this is again a projected cost, okay? Not knowing when we're going to do this project. Like say for instance, when I spread something out for 3 or 4 years on a big project, when we get to that second year, we're going to go out and get a bid on that to get an idea of where, because prices are going up, things don't go down, they just go up. Okay?
So for like the air conditioners, you're talking 5 units, you're going to put that out every year for a bid?
No, we usually go with the contractor, but we keep the contractor out. We have a contractor that does our maintenance, okay? So we usually go for that, because if you get an outside source with an outside contractor, then the one that's maintaining it, they blame each other, so we try to get a fair bid. If the contractor's in there, usually gives a pretty fair bid.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in using the same contract over and over with the electrical, plumbing.
Yeah.
In the long run, you end up getting the best price anyway.
If you get one, but we try to keep honesty in there, so we do get a second bid just to make sure everybody's in the right path.
Okay,
But
thank you.
yes, when you have a contract for maintenance, we try to keep the same contractor doing the work. Say bye. John, quiet.
you know, the only thing the parking lot, you know, just, you know, we've been beating that bush for 20 years. Ever since I've been here, we beat that bush.
That one goes
We
back
just
to,
keep throwing money at it.
it goes back to Southampton type deal.
Yeah, you know, everybody says, oh, you know, let's do 10,000 here or 5,000 here. You know, for 20 years we've been doing this, you know?
I
We're gonna have to bite the bullet and just do it and get it over with.
I have an I think I have an architectural plan for the green area over there for 50 spots. I have some other layouts.
Can't hear you, Dan.
I have, I think we've done this like two times, maybe 3 times, where we had an architect come in.
Right.
And one for the green area by the shuffleboard courts over there to make that into a parking spot. We've had them come in because I remember when Don was here also that we were going out to the lake, you know, for a possibility of extending out that way. We also have some drawings, I think, in the front where the buses park, okay, to try to do something there. But it just never, you know, the cost, we know if you did this, you had to do it per code. Everybody was kind of concerned because it might take some spaces away because you have to have green area, okay? The only thing that by adding the 50 spots on the other side, it'd probably keep the same amount of parking space, but you make it up to code, you know? You wouldn't do anything to increase parking. We have a way that we could do it. There's an engineer that came in and said that because we have such a wide space, okay? It used to be for two-way traffic, that you could probably engineer it to get some more spacing, but of course that costs money, okay, to get that done, you know? And are you serious to go forward that route because you know it's gonna cost you $500,000 or more, okay, to do your parking lot?
Dan, since we have so many less people coming to the shows, coming to the movies, is it even necessary to expand the parking lot?
That's up to, this was discussions in the past where we had a lot of traffic issues and a lot of parking issues during the season time.
We don't seem to have that even during season like we used to.
We did.
But it was an odd season because the medical building didn't have their lights on at night. There was an issue with the wiring, so we lost that as far as parking goes in season. I don't really remember very irate residents that, you know, missed half the show because they couldn't find a parking space. And now we've also got Cypress Lakes and Golden Lakes coming, and we managed to get by.
But you think we need more?
Well, there's always the hope that our attendance will increase for the shows.
Okay.
And it is a legitimate problem.
If anything, it's just, we're bringing this up because of the life safety situation. The parking lot does not meet those requirements, okay? So anything you try to upgrade, okay, without having a permit done, you put yourself in liability, okay?
And now, it's not just about increasing parking, we also have the issue that we took out the bumpers and it's a free-for-all out there.
True.
So we now have multiple things that we need to address. We also have only one small area for handicap access in front of the clubhouse. So it's a multifaceted issue and it's going to be a big price tag. But right now, electrical is going to be our top priority.
Thank you.
Anything else, questions?
Right? Anybody want to make any comments or suggestions?
Are we voting on this today?
Well, these are proposals. They want to hear, is there anything that you wish to add, omit, other than on the items that they brought up to discuss? We asked for an additional time to look at it. Is there anything on this list that they're recommending that you want to do or not do?
This,
Go ahead.
this, what we're voting on today is basically $5.36 per unit.
So that's what that's.
That's the must, right? Am I right about that?
That's the must and the let's.
That's the must and the let's.
In other words,
Okay. Oh, must and the list, okay.
Increase of
That's $5.36 per person, per unit, I mean. $5.36 per unit.
Go up last
No,
year, but going up
this is
this
I know what they must have.
And we will be going up more than $5.36 when the rest of the budget comes in. Am I not right?
Yeah, you know.
Am I
Right,
right?
no, you're right.
Yeah, because this is only the maintenance lines.
We're asking for this for direction
Right.
prior to having the full formal budget presentation.
So the ballpark figure, as Karnak would say, would be probably around $9 a unit, or $8 a unit, after the rest of the budget is filtered into here.
Maybe 10.
Maybe
Maybe
10.
10.
I'd say 8 to 10.
Well, and then the final caveat is always what you want to be
Right.
putting in reserves, so,
Yeah.
you know.
I see no problem in the must of the list. Dave, I mean, you
Yes,
gotta,
David?
you gotta do it.
I can't determine what the lets are on this thing. I can see the color for the must and the reserves, but I have no differentiation in color for
Okay, so,
good weight or lets.
okay, so let's say the whites, okay, just the white colors, okay? Anything in white, like, if you did the new carpet, if you wanted to change that and put it next year, start it next year, and carry it out for another
Now,
three years.
You have here must and lets.
Okay, your first let's, David, is the main clubhouse ladies locker, wait a minute.
It's engineering for the ladies' locker
Yeah,
room.
engineering, right.
Which
The
one is it
second
here?
one is the
Colors.
theater stage area build out.
And that, it's a small thing, but what we need with that is we're gonna be removing the carpet when we put in that small storage area, and we're gonna use that carpet to patch 2 areas where we're missing carpet in the theater. So that way we can push the re-carpeting of the theater off as a result, because women are tripping if they're wearing heels.
Between the blue.
Where was that?
Blue, green, blue.
What, the holes?
The holes in the theater.
John?
One is
Ed?
by the double doors leading out to the resident pool, and then the other one is on the side in an aisle,
Yeah.
on section A. I can, you wanna meet me afterwards, I'll walk you.
Yes, John, go ahead.
It was brought up last week that these 4 categories be put on 4 separate pages. Yeah, this is worse than last week as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the colors are not clear.
Yeah, no, the color's terrible.
It's bad coloring.
Still don't know what the
The
lets
should
are.
weight
So-
should be completely off the list.
We should buy them a box of colored crayons to make the color better.
It's like a yellow.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, David.
David, you're on, go ahead.
Everybody tells me
wait a
it's
minute.
yellow, but I don't
Let's
see
give it to
any yellow on this one.
Well, if you look up here, guys, and if you wanna really look at color, you look up here. You know?
You hold it
I
to
can't
the
see
line.
that either.
See that either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
the
I
next-
am on.
Why
That's
don't
what
you
it is up there.
just start to the first, to come down to the first bold black line? What are the lets on that one?
But,
They're not.
guys, the let's do is $42,000. So,
I mean, I'll go through the top again and just, okay.
You don't have to go through the top.
Yeah, because if you don't understand it, you might as well, I'll look at.
Before you do that, can I let David
Yeah.
get something? Go ahead, David.
First, thank you very much for breaking it down this way. It certainly makes it a whole lot easier for us to have the discussion and incorporate in, the information that you guys can offer for prioritization. So thanks for that. But, at this point in the budget cycle, whatever we vote on or put in may change further in the cycle when we find out what other increases there may be in WPRF when we look comprehensive at it, right? Is that correct, Eva?
Yes.
So I guess since we can still have further discussion, I make the motion that we accept the musts and the lets in this spreadsheet that we're looking at right now for the coming year.
okay, all right. All right, we have a first and a second.
Who's the second, please?
Me,
John Gregg made the second.
because it's gonna change again when we have the big budget.
Absolutely.
So I mean, we're just rubber stamping it until the next time.
No, what we're doing, these items are gonna be included when we get to vote on the budget. So
Right.
you're gonna get to
And then we can go up or down on
We
the
can go up and down on it. This is so we don't waste time adding all these things and going down line by line for 22 days
Totally
to say,
agree.
no, you can't do this.
And now you got a chance to look at 2025 and 2026 and just say, on those, which ones you want to eliminate. And we can do that when we get the budget, you know?
I said, call the question.
The whole total for the rent is $42,500.
I can't see it all.
It's where the gate is 16,000, the ADA for the ladies' room.
Because I always get emails from them.
Ladies locker room is 6,500 for
Yeah,
engineering.
6,500 for engineering.
The build out, we're talking just the 10,000, but it's
Yeah.
gonna help us push the theater carpet off for
To redo
a few years.
They're blowing out a whole.
I mean, there's still things in the 25, 26 you can take out. I mean, there's,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot there you can take out, so. Or we could just say, we shift it over, we're not gonna do that carpet of 31,000, we'll start it next year. You can, this is how you read and you do 5-year plans and 4-year plans, you know, that's all. You just look at this, and if you don't wanna do it this year, you don't have to.
Well, like your big item is this Kent ADA unisex restroom for $300,000. If you flat say, we're not doing that this year, we want to put it off for another year, obviously that's your choice, so.
Though it's not recommended. Those bathrooms are over 50 years old.
Right.
Still work.
We've been waiting for, we've been doing that for, we started this last year.
Just remember, it's gonna go up again next year.
Yeah.
Dave, can we call the question on this?
Sure. David, do I look like David? I got hair.
I'm sorry, Fausto.
I got hair.
I'm sorry, Fausto. I had a mental lapse.
That's okay. Is there any other input on this motion? Tony, read the motion, please.
Okay, we have a motion by David Furness and seconded by John Craig to accept the musts and the lets on the spreadsheet in front of us.
That's it? Everybody happy? Okay,
You want me to call the vote?
yeah.
Okay,
Committee first.
all right. Michael Zaslow.
Yes.
Okay. Joyce Reese.
Yes.
Bobby Levin.
Yes.
John Hess.
Yes.
John Craig.
Yes.
David Furness.
Yes.
Ruth Dries.
Yes.
Maureen.
Yes.
Okay. Joanne.
Yes.
Tony, yes. David Boaz.
Yes.
Okay. Bruce Stutzman.
Yes.
Stuart Richland.
Yes.
Patricia Caputo.
Yes.
Fausto.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried.
Okay. Thank you. Does that help you, Monica?
Yes,
Okay.
it helps us slim down the budget presentation. I think everybody's in agreement with that.
Do you want to go over the reserve items and see if, you know, so people understand what we're reserving for, if you're going to be adding that to the reserve clause, since it's only a couple of items?
Total of 4.
4, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 4 items.
Yeah.
Well,
The
you're talking
four
about,
items that are under reserve is the 4-foot perimeter for the guest pool, the AC air handlers, the theater carpet replacement, and the men's sauna.
For a total of?
The total reserves,
$300,000
$300,000.
to redo it. 66,000.
no, what
The
we
ladies.
redid the ladies, what we recently did in the men's sauna was we rebuilt the benches.
I think she wants to see what the men's sauna looks like.
We can take you on a tour, no problem. And we feel comfortable putting this off because we don't have that problem anymore.
Good. Yes, John?
As long as we don't keep cutting it off like we did Maureen's fence over there.
Not my fence.
At Dorchester?
No.
12 years.
I was going to bring up a little history. The Southampton pool,
Good.
okay, turned out to be $250,000 because we waited almost 10 years.
That's right, because you keep putting it down the street.
Well, we kept kicking it, yeah.
Yeah, kicking it down the street, you know, it just, every time you kick it, add another 15, 20,000.
But to be fair, sometimes we had good reasons to kick it. We were literally adding that money to another project that came up that we had to do that was larger.
Right.
So, you know, to be fair. I think that Dorchester fence went for new curtains, fire-rated curtains for the theater. And there were a couple of other things. You know, and I think that the Southampton, we were doing the cooling towers. And we put the money toward that because it was at 80,000 at the time. So, meaning the pool, not the cooling towers.
But we're going to utilize this spreadsheet now for future, because
Yes.
what we do is bump it down. If, let's say an emergency arises, we just keep this and bump things to the side, you know?
Okay. Yeah, it was passed.
And bear in mind, guys, when you're looking at this, there's 300,000 under the reserve line. We do currently have $503,000 in the contingency and infrastructure reserve. So we've got in excess of that now, and we're still collecting this year. We'll be doing so. So.
Yes, David, here, go ahead.
You know, I couldn't be more in favor of reserves. It's so much easier to, you know, budget for things and have the money there like we do with our buildings, or if we haven't in the past, like we are going to do with our buildings. So I really think we should move ahead with those. Yes, Monica, there is a lot of money in the reserves that we build up, but a lot of that is already spoken for, if you would, for other purposes. You know, at least get started on adding these things in. Someday down the road, we probably ought to be thinking about a reserve item for the parking lot, just because we're going to have to pave it, whether we keep it the same, you know, with the ADA parking lot, parking spaces that we have to put in, or we try to expand it. Either way, we're going to have to repave that sometime down the road, and you know, maybe next year we should start thinking about adding that in the reserve. But for this year, I make the motion that we go ahead with the reserves as laid out in the spreadsheet.
I would have to disagree with that.
I disagree, not this year.
One comment, David, that you made, the contingency and infrastructure reserve is more like a pooled reserve. There's nothing in that reserve money that's been designated for any particular project at this time.
Okay, good. Thanks for the clarification. But, you know, do you think, Monica, that if we really put together the type of reserve study that UCO's doing now, that probably we'd find more than enough needed things to be done? And maybe that's, you know, open to discussion. Maybe that's what we should be doing, is to having a formal assessment by a professional company like UCO did to see what we ought to be reserving.
David, I don't think that's a good idea. From a little experience that I'm seeing on a large scale, they plug numbers into a computer and they come out with numbers that make no sense. So until they straighten it out, I think the pen and paper is the best way to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I open the discussion. I appreciate your thoughts.
You know, we're all about reserve funding anytime we can, and that's usually one of the last things we do as part of the budget process, is once we get a handle where the coupon is going, then we'll say, well, you know, maybe we can add $1 or $2 to the reserve, like that. So it's always a good idea to add to it. I think you can.
Yes, Donald,
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
so for the coming year, will the contingency infrastructure reserve continue to accumulate at the same rate that it's been?
That'll be up to you guys.
What do you say, guys?
I can't hear what you're saying. Can't hear what he's saying.
My question, David, was will we continue to accumulate the infrastructure and contingency reserve at the same rate that we've been contributing into it in the previous years?
So this budget year, it's at 3, but there was a time, I think we were all the way up to 7, and you guys have adjusted it
Right.
each year based on what you thought you needed to do.
Right.
And then you'll be doing the same thing when we come to this budget.
Okay.
You'll tell Monica what you
So is
want
that
to do.
something we want to discuss now, whether we want to move forward with current rate of contribution, or?
I don't think,
Go ahead, John.
I don't think we can until we see the picture.
Right.
Think about it.
We need to see the whole budget before we can, that's the last thing we vote on in terms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's,
So if I'm hearing right, maybe I should be remove or my motion.
No.
That we put that down the road till we see the rest of the budget.
No second.
There was no second on it, so there's nothing to
To remove.
remove.
Good, okay.
I just want to say something.
Yes, go ahead, Dan.
I'm very familiar with the reserve studies, and the reason that and I appreciate what he said there, but when you do that, the pencil gets very heavy, like you're saying, due to the fact that they bring everything into effect that we've already done. So even if we did a roof, okay, that'll come in there, and you'll get a study report that's going to be very, very expensive, okay? But we pretty much, that's why you don't see roof in here, because we just redid these things, and all the air conditioning, the chillers, everything else. We're talking about millions of dollars, okay, that we spent already, okay, that we have good life expectancies on these things. And if anybody wants to come to us, I can tell you what that life expectancy. But everything in the past the years with chillers, cooling towers, everything in the past when it used to be 20 years, okay, has gone down to 15 to 10. Okay, just to let you know, that's the life expectancies have changed because of the quality of materials, okay, that they're using, and that's just to keep business rolling, guys. That's so. Equipment that I used to, when I first got here, that would last me 20 years, is no longer. Air handlers, all that. With the electronics that are involved in this stuff, warranties 1 year on these electronics, okay? We're in the lightning capital of the world, but so what we did here is we put the stuff that we think that we need to do, and like I said, air conditioning is always going to be gone. We got an air conditioner that runs 18 hours a day, and it's all mechanical. So after we finish these 5, it'll keep on going, if you break it up and keep doing it this way, it's when you don't do that, okay? And you wait 5 years, 10 years, or 60 years that you haven't renovated a bathroom, okay? This is where those big expenses are. So this is why this breakup is like this. And maybe down the road here in 3 years from now, you start putting the roof reserves inside there again to for 10 years down the road, because that will be meeting where we have to replace the roof, okay? So I think we have it down packed of what we have to do here without having to spend thousands of dollars to tell us what's going on.
let them know.
Okay. Do we have anything else? Yes, Maureen, you got your hand up?
I know I ask this all the time, the next meeting is August the 26th?
Yes.
26th for the budget,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes. I will be providing lunch.
Okay. Yes, John?
I just want to touch base with Steve. You brought up the subject today about the lights for the pickleball court.
Yes.
Shuffleboard court.
Yes.
What that request came from the petition, but as I said to those people that confronted me, I said, show up at the meeting, and it's obvious no
Right.
one's here. So for my own personal thing, where are we at? So like,
Well, we are nowhere until we fix our electrical problem. So we've got the engineering on the list,
Okay.
right? So that's 40,000 for the FP&L vault. And that's this year, we're gonna do the engineering, which means we'll then get a price based on that engineering for the budget year 26, 27. Okay, so if we can get it done early enough in the year that we would do some other projects, and 2 of them, like I said, would be the lights for pickleball, but it's also about heating, taking the edge off the pool, the resident pool, because in the season, nobody uses it. Even the lap swimmers do not use it, it's so cold. So we want them to be able to use it, but not make it so uncomfortable for them. So, because I had a lot of problems this past season, fights again at the pools, because the residents that, we'll take Camden as an example, it's their pool. And then you've got lap swimmers going there, and they lost their ever-loving minds, and it got so ugly, there was almost fisticuffs. So, yeah, so it's ridiculous, it is
How did you
sad.
solve it? How was it solved?
They drowned.
You know, you can't redirect them, they need a larger pool for their laps, but you had some people that were going the short way, then you had some people going this way, and I see it. People are so annoyed that they're there that they'll actually move a little bit to get in their way and then scream and yell that they've been, assaulted. So, yeah, we put up signs and I put up specific times that they should be there doing their laps, not at the key time that everybody was floating in the pool and
I've
socializing.
seen it advertised. I guess a lot of people have not.
Well, it's sad to me that I have to intervene and people can't come to this on their own. We're a shared facility.
Do we have anything for the good of the order? Anything for the good of the order? Okay.
So to confirm,
Motion is made by John Gregg to adjourn. Michael, we're off.